What is up, guys? I'm back, and today I got a little something different for you. You probably don't know this besides from maybe the EAS scenario video I made last year, but I love severe weather and tornadoes. Part of the reason why, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you would agree too, is because of the movie Twister. Everything about this movie was just perfect to 7-year-old me. There was just something about it that pulled me in and made me go into a 7-year phase of me wanting to become a storm chaser. Not to mention adult me appreciating the genuine joy Philip Seymour Hoffman was having while playing Dusty.
But there's some good news. It did fly.
So, you can imagine my surprise when I found out last year while rewatching the movie that there was going to be another Twister movie. Now, knowing Hollywood's tendencies to bugger up sequels to successful movies, I was very cautious about the movie as more and more details started to come out about it. The thing I was most concerned about was one I think a couple of others thought to themselves. How are they going to do a Twister sequel without the original cast? Bill Paxton, who played Bill, and the previously mentioned Philip Seymour Hoffman, who played Dusty, passed away in 2017 and 2014 respectively, and both of them were a big reason as to why the movie was good, to me at least. Good luck recasting them. Joe would have been a hard recast too, as Helen Hunt's last notable film role was in 2021 in the movie How It Ends, while Jonas, who was played by Carrie Elliott, was unceremoniously blown up after refusing to listen to Joe and Bill, leaving that arc up in smoke. I'm not saying that Hunt in this regard rejected any offers to reprise a role as Joe, but early speculation did suggest that she was being sought out in early stages of production for Twisters. Now, that was the main reason I was cautious about the movie. You simply can't replace iconic actors like Paxton, Hunt, and Hoffman. So, what did Warner Brothers' production team do to circumvent the problem? They made the sequel a standalone. To those who aren't aware, a standalone sequel basically means there's no relation to this film to the last one, besides being set in the same universe. Which also meant it was completely fair game to create entirely new characters for the film. That did help me alleviate that main concern I had, and throughout the rest of Twister's production, I remained cautiously optimistic. This was a note I found while researching. Glenn Powell, the guy who plays Tyler in the movie, stated that he knows that he and the cast won't be able to match Bill Paxton or Helen Hunt, but are proud to carry the torch.
How does it feel now to take on this role, kind of almost carrying the torch?
Look, I really feel like Daisy's character really embodies who Bill was in the original. I feel like my place in this movie, even just to be a part of this movie and to feel like, we're bearing the torch of like what Bill brought to that initial one and what Helen brought to the initial one. It's like, it's pretty unbelievable. But I think the thing that makes me really proud is we have James Paxton, Bill's son, in the movie. He's in this really iconic sequence, and working with Bill and then getting to talk with James, and we shared the screen in Spy Kids 3 together, my first movie, and then I got to work with Bill again and became friends with Bill. So to feel like we were getting to, like, I don't know, bring back his memory, on a movie that really defined him. He loved weather. I don't know if you know this, but Bill used to do the weather reports before every day on Twister.
That's amazing.
And it's really amazing. He loved the weather. He loved space. He loved the natural world. And I think he would have loved this movie, and having James on there in spirit was just amazing.
When I saw that first trailer play during the Super Bowl, I was honestly blown away. The start showing the main character Kate and her team darting for an overpass for cover. By the way, this is a terrible idea in reality. Do not seek cover in an overpass during a tornado. More info clicking the card in the upper right. Was very intense. And seeing that beautiful giant tin can of a probe, Dorothy, even if it was just for a couple of seconds, gave me a lot of hope for what the movie had in store. The other main character, Tyler, also reminded me of those storm chasers I watched as a kid, particularly Sean Casey, who, if you don't know, wanted to film the inside of tornadoes and used plenty of different armored-up intercept vehicles to do so. Side note, I love how the tornadoes look. The CGI looks very well done compared to the first movie. And you gotta love the Dodge Ram brand loyalty on display between the two, too. So, the second trailer drops a few months later, and to say my hype for the movie skyrocketed is an understatement. Firstly, good job having a destruction scene happen in Stillwater. I hope Boone Pickens Stadium is among the carnage. Bunch of cheating clowns. Also, that little Easter egg of a 1980s Jeep Gladiator getting sucked away into a tornado? Very nice touch. We also get a mention of Kate's intention to disrupt the tornado, which honestly does make me worry a little bit that the movie is going to try and maybe spoon-theme some climate change elements. I don't deny that it exists, but when it comes to movies about weather disasters, most I have on my DVD shelf are a bit preachy about it, to say the least. Also, we finally get a clear look of the main setting, or at least the setting for the climax of the film, El Reno. If you know anything about tornado events or weather history, you know that some stuff went down near the town in the past few years. In 2011, the town had a large EF5 tornado touchdown, killing 9 people. In 2013, the largest tornado ever recorded. That killed 8 people, including 3 members of the Twix team, Tim and Paul Samaras and Carl Young, and are the only recorded cases of professional storm chasers being killed on the field. Now, with the trailers out of the way, what do I expect from the movie going into the theater? Well, for one, you gotta have some tributes to the Twistex team. Your setting for the film is in El Reno, in a movie about tornadoes. Not at least having some bit of tribute to them would be a massive missed opportunity. 2. Tributes to the original film and cameos. You get some of that in the trailers with the original Dorothy 5 probe from the first movie making an appearance, along with a couple of Easter eggs in the trailer. And I would love to see Helen Hunt appear in a post-credits screen in a lab with maybe a framed picture of the original storm chasing team from the first movie somewhere. 3, and probably the most obvious, the tornadoes themselves, the settings they wreak havoc in, and the destruction they caused. I lived in Oklahoma most of my life, and you can bet I'm going to be looking at the scenes and pinpointing what is where, and seeing those places get destroyed is going to be both awesome and kind of unsettling at the same time. It scratches an itch of what if a tornado hits this place, but also sparks a bit of fear of if this happens, I may be dead. For the record, I'm not saying that my opinion on a movie hinges on whether or not these small things happen. It's just basically a wish list of what I hope to see in the film. That being said, roll to me walking out of the theater, Joy.
Hey, look who joined me to watch the movie. So, we just got out. Overall, very, very fun movie, to me at least. That's not saying much because I enjoy pretty much any action movie, and yes, it's about 10 p.m. as we're walking out of the theater because, well, conditions. But hey, walking out of the theater, obviously very fun movie. If you like tornadoes, just destruction, yeah, go and see it. As far as how
Fire NATO on there, nice.
Yeah, it destroyed a refinery. That was pretty cool. But compared to the original Twisters, I'd have to say it looks a lot cleaner as far as the tornadoes are concerned. And yeah, you got maybe more interesting characters, but you don't have as much character in the background.
I believe there's way more deaths in that movie than there was in the first movie.
Yeah, I think in the first movie there was like 3 maximum.
This one over top, definitely.
Definitely with all the people getting sucked out. But obviously, in comparison to the original movie, as I said, cleaner tornadoes, as he said, a lot more death.
Yeah.
A lot more death. You had at least, I counted 10 characters get killed.
I can't wait until Doug Meat talks about it.
I can't wait until like Critical Drinker sees it or something like that. I don't know. But all I know is that from what I'm doing, I'm comparing it to the original. So far, so good. You'll get my final thoughts toward the end of this video, but walking out of the theater, I think it was a good movie. Now, I don't know, maybe things will change as I sleep on the little details, but eventually I'll remember eventually I'll come to an agreement with myself. But yeah. Matt thinks it was good, so.
Yeah, I thought it was way more cooler.
But there's one thing that it didn't have that I knew. Food! God.
That's definitely going to be in the video.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be. Alright, anyways, I'll see you guys in a couple of days.
Alright, so it's been about 5 days, maybe, since I walked out of the theater. And looking back at what I've said walking out and the notes I typed right after, I can still say I enjoyed the movie. First, though, I want to point out some details that I noticed during the movie. Just little details here and there that caught my eye. First, Muskogee State College, the fictional college in the movie that the main characters of both movies researched for, had its logo changed from a warrior head to a tree. Dorothy has been modified a little bit. Its single opening hatch was now changed to 2 panels, and I noticed that it required a lot less button pressing and system switching to get it to work. We also saw news reports on TVs throughout the movie, and they decided to use News 4 meteorologists. Now, there's nothing wrong with Emily Sutton. She and the other meteorologists at KFOR do a great job, but I think about 60% of Oklahomans, including myself, would ride with News 9's Tornado Payne for their weather forecasting. Come on, even his nickname would have fit for the movie. I also noticed this while rewatching the trailers for the movie, but the scene with the truck getting sucked into the tornado changes. The tornado sucks the truck in directly in the movie, but in the trailer, the truck hits the motel sign before being swept away. The last little bit of notable details is in the initial end credits. They show off various photos and videos of famous tornadoes throughout history. If you're into tornado history, welcome to your minute and a half of paradise. Also, there is no post-credit scene. I figured that out by myself. One more note I really want to touch up on, and this was a concern I had when I walked into the theater. Climate change is not a part of the plot, thankfully. It saved itself from being another geostorm on my DVD shelf. Now, as much as I enjoyed the movie, I did have some problems with it a little while after stewing on what I watched. Some minor details and a couple of major ones. I'm going to get this one out of the way first because I don't know if this was the movie's problem or not, but the sound effects of the tornadoes had noises of what sounded like backfiring motorcycle engines. At least at the theater I watched. I'm chalking it up to the sound system of the theater and not the movie, but someone let me know if that noise was also there for you when you watched it. Second point I want to touch up on, and oh boy, is this bothered me in ways it shouldn't have, but there's a bunch of mind-numbing stupidity on display from some of the characters, including Kate. The overpass scene. Oh, the overpass scene. Kate even acknowledges that the overpass is stupidly dangerous, yet her friends are insistent that they go for it anyways. Now, I understand that adrenaline is going and they think it's the best idea, but 3 of them die and Kate admits later it was a terrible call. The asshole motel guest and his girlfriend, along with the guy behind the counter later on in the movie, completely oblivious to the chaos happening outside and they just brush it off and continue arguing. The lady even does the dating statistics means I'm smart thing, and then acts shocked when a tree blows through the lobby, and then the two try to book it inside of a car. Last thing the world needed was for those two to add to the population. Thank you, Stillwater EF4. The motel employee later couldn't handle listening to simple instructions and got himself killed. Now, I feel sorry for him since his first day of the job was on that particular day, but all you had to do was listen to Tyler and stay down inside the pool, but you just had to keep standing up. One more thing I have to mention is the out-of-nowhere tornado plot MacGuffin. I understand that tornadoes and severe thunderstorms can sometimes feel like they can form out of thin air, but lead times to a storm that can produce a tornado in 2024 is on average 13 minutes according to NOAA. I can understand the sudden tornado appearances in the original Twister, but in a digital age where the most advanced radars are capable of tracking down severe thunderstorms hours before they happen, along with the alerts we get on our phones when those warnings are given, it's a bit asinine that some of them are just able to show up out of nowhere. I'd also like to mention, there was no tributes to Twistex or Bill Paxton or Philip Seymour Hoffman anywhere in the movie. The production team definitely missed those opportunities. Also, no cameos for the original cast, but I feel like I can excuse it since the film is not supposed to be a direct sequel or to have any relation to the previous movie. Alright, we got all the stuff I found negative out of the way finally, and it should be noted that despite all of those negatives, I still enjoyed the film. The plot is nothing too special, but it was enough to keep my attention, and I have to say the only little excitement I had in the entire movie was at Kate's mama's house. It's like they took a lot of inspiration for this movie from Twister. Wait, yes, you heard me right. There were so many parallels in both the characters in this movie and in some of the moments that I'm led to believe that they almost rehashed the story in Twister with a brand new coat of 2024 paint. Don't believe me? Come, walk with me. First, the characters. Kate is easily an insert for both Bill and Joe. Like Bill, she uses her own instincts to track storms and was a weatherman/woman before being drawn back to chase. She also creates a new solution for tornadoes in an effort to save lives, which culminates in her driving her experiment into the deadliest kind of tornado. Like Joe, she is haunted by the memory of her tornado killing somebody she loves, and her outfit while chasing heavily mirrors Joe's clothes. Tyler is once again Bill, and also, get ready for this one, Dusty. Like Kate and Bill, Tyler and his team prefer the old ways of chasing, without many high-tech gadgets, and chasing tornadoes using instinct. Like Dusty, he is having a lot of fun with the situation, blaring music while on the chase, while also capable of being serious and weather aware when needed to be. Javi is this movie's version of Eddie. Yes, this is the biggest stretch so far, but hear me out. Well, Javi is definitely much more close with a member of the rival storm chasing team. Like Eddie, he is more than willing to help out the other team if they seem to need it and is willing to listen to advice from the other team also. Unlike the two, one's ended up splitting from the team he rode with, and the other was pulled into his grave by his partner riding shotgun. Scott is our Jonas clone, right down to the clean outfit and the financial backing to the perfectly uniformed vehicles his team has saved for the lead car. In it for the money that the tech they're testing can bring instead of the lives it can save, leaves the one getting abandoned on the side of the road and the other getting him and his driver killed. Our English reporter Ben is Melissa. Okay, this is the biggest stretch here, but fuck it. Basically, they're both white-collar characters swept up with a wily storm-chasing team at the start of the movie and realize they got more than what they bargained for when they first signed up. Ben guts it out the entire movie, while Melissa bows out after the drive-in gets blown away. That's the characters out of the way, and I'm pretty sure Critical Drinker beat me to a lot of these points. Present me here. He did. But I'm basically going to go ahead with it anyway. Since I have so many, we're going to basically speedrun these. Moments listed are in rough chronological order according to the new movie. Early apologies, Joy, for any pain I might cause. First tornado on screen is an EF5 which killed people one of the main characters is close to. The main character takes cover under a bridge despite the obvious danger. White, pristine, matching vehicles for the professional crew save the lead vehicle. Large vehicle blasting music with the fun crew. Kate sensing the storm with the dandelion, Bill using dirt. Tyler's convoy almost ramming into Javi and Kate's. Joe and Bill is almost running into Jonas's. Twin tornadoes. Touring tornado damage. Nighttime surprise tornado. Horror movie tornado. Driving the experimental technology into the tornado. Phew. Alright, glad that's over. I'm sure there's a lot more parallels I didn't catch upon, but let's consider that a good thing for now. So, with all that put together, what do I ultimately think about the movie? Well, despite a lot of rehashing of scenes from the first movie and the unneeded stupidity on display from some of the characters, I still enjoyed it. Yes, it has some flaws. Yes, it is not the best movie I've seen. Sure, the cast of Twisters couldn't match the charm of the previous movie, but they did a very good job nonetheless, in my opinion. I still had loads of fun while watching it, and anybody else who enjoyed the first movie will definitely find similar enjoyment here. That being said, I'm sure I wasted too many of your guys' time already, so let's end the video here. I hope you liked this video. It was a lot different from what I usually do. A lot of videos are different from what I usually do, but that's the point of a variety channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications when I upload, and I will see you guys in the next video. See y'all. So, you can imagine my surprise when I found out last year while rewatching the and when I first saw that twist. Do that twist. Hi. Who's my good dog? Ah. And throughout the rest of Twister's production, I remained hopelessly... Damn it. That asshole motel guest and his girlfriend, along with the guy behind the counter later on in the movie, completely oblivious to the chaos happening outside and they just brush it off and continue arguing. The lady does even the feta cheese. That motel employee, God, I'm sorry, just, oh God. Kate is easily an insert for both Bill and Joe. Like Bill, she uses her own instincts to track storms, and was a weather, damn, how do I say this? Was a weather woman. Oh,